We're going to be talking about why operators need DCB and RCS to stay alive or to remain even relevant. They're up against it. Voice and SMS revenues are falling. If only they had something to plug the gap, Paul.
If
We
only.
think the telemedia industry has got the answer, and so we're going to rush straight into the first story, which reads: one in five mobile subscribers to use DCB by the end of 2025. This is Juniper Research's report, Global Carrier Billing Markets 2024 to 2029, where they report that a fifth of all mobile phone subscribers worldwide, that's around 1.5 billion people, will be using carrier billing to buy either digital content, physical goods, or digital tickets in 2025. This is good news for the telemedia industry since DCB underpins almost everything we do. Paul, Juniper, they've been busy this week. Talk us through some of the key points from this story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, carrier billing continues to grow, albeit sort of slowly. I think a lot of attention gets put onto things like wallets and NFC, things like Apple Pay and instant banking and all that. But carrier billing chugs away in the background, getting more and more popular. If you think back sort of 10, 15 years, it was sort of reasonably unpopular. But thanks to its use worldwide, particularly in sort of emerging markets, it's on the up. And Juniper predict that around one in five mobile users worldwide, that's about 1.5 billion people,
It's a
will be
lot.
using carrier billing by 2020, by the end of this year, 2025. Even more by the end of their report period in 2029, but obviously that's a bit speculative. Um, the interesting thing that came out of this, though, is Juniper's correct assertion that carriers, particularly in more developed markets, need to do more to push carrier billing and to embrace it more. Um, because, as you said in the introduction, they're losing revenues on SMS and voice and all those sort of traditional services. Carrier billing is increasingly becoming something that can plug some of that gap, not all of it, obviously, but it's a nice little earner, as they used to say. And with 1.5 billion people using it, that's potentially quite a lot of cash running through it. So carriers need to embrace this. I think what's interesting is that Juniper's sort of view is that carriers need to be much more involved in the sort of content distribution side of things. They need to be there right in front of customers, doing the stuff and giving them the stuff. That way, it's much easier to then say, "Oh, and pay using carrier billing by your mobile phone bill." Bosh, it's done. Which is a bit of a leap for them. It's something they tried to do years ago. For those of you who have been doing this for as long as we have, remember they had sort of carrier walled gardens of content and services and tried to be all those things and largely failed. It looks like they're going to have to again. Now, the interesting part of that is that really that involves, I think, being more involved in the super bundling thing that we've talked about many times, where carriers have the ability to bundle up content packages and bill for it using carrier billing for other people. So it's an interesting time. Carrier billing is growing. Operators need to do more with it. How they do that, though, could possibly put them in conflict with the aggregators and things that already do this. Whether that model also works worldwide, particularly in emerging markets, particularly in places like MENA, where carrier billing is sort of pretty dominant, really, around content sales. Be interesting to see. There's been some other sort of news out this week as well about instant payments. They're growing. Some people see that as a threat as well to carrier billing, but I think that's you have to have a bank account to do that. So I think carrier billing sort of is can safely work alongside things like instant payments. So I think yes, it's going to grow. Carriers need to sort of maybe do more with it and push it more. So I think we're going to see a lot more of it. Where that leads to in terms of who has the content, where they get it from, how they sell it, what that might mean for the wider telemedia market remains to be seen. But an interesting story nonetheless.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. For those people that don't know, there are many telemedia aggregators that are already plugged into the mobile networks, offering DCB and other alternative payment mechanisms across the globe for premium digital content. So telemedia remains an important event for people to focus on if that is indeed what they want to do. I think the message here is that more MNOs need to do more of it. and they need to be more proactive in terms of actually attracting and helping facilitate increased DCB revenues. And in fact, the forecast does say 136.9 billion could be the end user spend by 2029.
Mm,
We love a big number. That big number would be on a revenue share, a very healthy proportion for
mm.
anyone that's involved in the telemedia value chain, right the way from the advertisers, right the way through to the content providers, and of course the MNOs at the top of the chain who are facilitating the payments. This does feel a little bit like Groundhog Day, though, Paul. Not the first time,
Yeah,
not
we've
the
been here
first time
before. We have been here before.
the industry and the research groups lament why on earth it's taking the MNOs so long to reconsider their role in the digital payment and content distribution channel. And as you rightly point out, MNOs need to focus more on being content distributors or being part of that distribution channel, and also payment facilitators. And that could also mean things beyond DCB. However,
Mm,
as I say, we have seen this challenge laid down before them in the past, and they have failed to really grasp the opportunity. Um, I was actually thinking, Paul, given that we've got three incredibly successful telemedia shows already planned this year, we should
mm.
just simply offer the MNOs some free tickets to come and check it out and
Absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
goodness me, what more can I offer? But it's there on a plate for them, I think. We all know
Mm,
that. There was also some reference in to a camera research project, which has now made the APIs a little bit more friendly
mm.
in terms of them being able to not just do bundling, but also work with other third parties. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. The sort of camera initiative, which is covered in this story, we've looked at it previously. Yeah, looks at sort of the checkout API, which makes it much easier to sort of build carrier billing into the sort of content sales process. So yeah, all those sorts of initiatives. And like you say, we've been here before. I think now the numbers are getting so big as to what's potentially possible with it that surely that then becomes a much more attractive proposition. And with things like checkout being making it more easy to do, the fact that it's been cleaned up, there's such a lot of work goes into the sort of fraud prevention side of it. There's all those sort of aspects.
Yeah,
Maybe this time, maybe this is the time it will
maybe
come
this
to
time.
fruition. And like you say, you need to come to the Telemedia events. There's one in Barcelona in just a few short weeks' time. In
That
fact,
is true. That is true.
where we could, yeah, we need to bang these heads together.
We'll tell you more about that a little